think about, it doesn't matter what year, how you can relate to each and every one of these stories. Right?
Yeah, some people stole some of my lines already. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here in person to pay tribute to Mr. Miliauskas and say thank you after all these years. I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you for all the hard work and planning that went into this event. I think they did an outstanding job, so thank you. Now, Mr. Miliauskas, on behalf of the classes of the 1970s, I'd like to share a few memories, stories, and lessons from those formative years. From Niagara Falls, Canada, 1975, and the memory of hitting that home stretch after a long parade. And flowers all around, a spectacular waterfall in front of us, and feeling the mist of those falls hitting us after a hot and humid 5-mile parade. And the roar of the crowd as we played music from Jesus Christ Superstar and won, first time ever, international championship trophy. And then on the other side of the spectrum, participating in the Jackson, the Sweet Valley, and the Lehman Horseshoe Parade. And the memories from that and the lessons you instilled in us to say, we need to practice and we need to play with pride and do the best we can, even though no trophies were at stake. The lessons of your intensity and your work ethic as you marched us around this very high school so many times that the groundskeeper started to complain about the brown tracks that were leaving in the grass. And the memories of certain phrases like, chop chop, esprit de corps, pick up your feet, get a haircut, and wrong. For the memory of each and every band member has of getting chewed out at least one time or another. And only now, some 35 years later, being able to admit that maybe we deserved it. And for sometimes being unpredictable, like the time at the Bloomsburg Fair, when barely 5-foot-tall Leo Paul forgot his white bucks, size 6 white bucks, and 6.5-foot-tall Johnny Yankowski forgets his size extra long band pants. So clearly they weren't going to get a single uniform out of that combination. So Leo tells me that you didn't yell at either one of them. Instead, you made them sit outside the band's performance that day and hawk our concert albums to the crowd. So Leo also tells me that he and Johnny hawked those albums like their life depended on it because they thought that it did. And I want to thank you for treating us all equally, regardless of who our fathers were, how rich or poor we were, or what we looked like. I also have a memory of you, Mr. Miliauskas, trying to get 100 kids not to squeak, cough, giggle, snort, choke, bang a music stand, drop a drumstick during our annual recording session of the concert album. I think in my 7 years I saw and heard every one of those things happen. So Brian Kinney, hopefully you were able to edit all those out for the CDs that you replicated. And for the terrifying memory of field show practice and the image of you with your scarlet red face and fire in your eyes running across the football field toward our general direction. And every one of us hoping like hell it wasn't us. And from Sherburne, New York, my favorite competition, the memory of hustling from parade to concert to field show and baton and color guard competitions. And the culmination of that day when the entire band would gather around the football field with all the other bands for the pageantry of the color guard and the suspense of the award ceremony, when they would slowly announce third place second place, and finally, the Lake Lehman High School Marching Band. And the memory of coming home from those competitions, and the pride and the joy of being met by police escort and fire engines and hundreds of cars from the local community as they came out to welcome us back from a long and successful competition. And on top of all of these memories and stories, we thank you for the life lessons that are still with us today. Lessons that you taught every single kid that came through your program. Lessons from the discipline you instilled in us, the commitment you demanded from us, and the camaraderie that you created between us as we set our collective sights on goals far bigger than our individual selves. For these lessons and for these memories, I thank you. We thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Miliauskas, and God bless.